Hello, everybody. So, welcome to the second episode of the Wanderlust City Podcast. It's been one full year, Reggie, or more than a year since I
Yeah.
did the first episode in Guatemala, man. One full
Yeah.
year, man. It took me one full year to get to the second episode.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, whatever time it takes, So it's just, because it's been difficult times, man, for everybody. So a lot of transition for me from moving to place. But I finally, I'm like in a place right now where I can do more. So I'll definitely be pumping out more. And
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to introduce this is my friend Reggie. He's been like a long time friend of mine. We've been friends since when, like 2013 around there.
Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah, a long time. So definitely like a very long time friendship. And he's actually pretty excited and happy because he's like he's right now he's doing a van life, right, Reggie?
Yep. Starting the van life journey. I'm only at my second stop from home right now, so it's pretty early in the journey.
That's cool, man. I always wanted to do that. I definitely cannot do it now for the time being, but perhaps something in the future. But why don't you tell us like the whole process? Like, why did you decide to do it, and the development. We get in the car and everything, man. I think
Yeah.
that's a cool story.
Yeah. Um, so I think like the events of 2020 definitely drove me to doing this. I've always wanted to do it. My life in Philly kind of like broke down because my I was working a 9 to 5 office job that obviously like the office shut down, and I was
Soul
working in
crushing, 9 to 5.
soul crushing. So that was a blessing in disguise, that ending. I had a restaurant job as well, and that kind of and I was kind of at the bottom of the food chain because I only worked about 10 hours a week. So I was one of the first people to like get cut once the pandemic happened. So I was basically like sitting at home for a year straight, and I watch this stuff on YouTube all the time. I see people like moving around and doing things, and like the best way to do things nowadays, if you want to do things, is to solo travel and just be efficient. If you can be efficient at it, you can solo travel for a long time and sustain yourself. So basically, that's what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah, I think that's
Um,
what the money situations is what I guess what keeps a lot of people from doing it, right?
right, yeah, and like right now, I'm kind of just starting, so it's like my first week. Um, I want to do a lot better than this moving forward because I've been spending money on hostels and hotels and stuff like I'm in now.
Can
Um,
you talk about like on the average, like how like the average have you been spending for the hostels or the hotels?
the first hostel I was at, it was a legitimate hostel. I mean, like bunk beds, probably like up to 20 people can stay there. There were only like five or 10 people there at any
Mhm.
given time I was there. It was about $30 a night, which
That's a good deal,
wasn't.
man.
Yeah, and I just needed that place as like a crash pad, like you know, shower and shave type thing. I was really like in my van. I was traveling around like biking and fishing and doing stuff like that in Jim Thorpe. So it was only like $30 a night. Right now I'm at a hotel that costs a lot more, which I don't want to do like too much of this, but I want to like actually do a lot of this. I'm here to like try and like edit up some videos and like get some work done, which is hard to do when you're in the van.
Yeah, you got a channel too, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's REC, like the short for record, but it's R space E space C.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I'm gonna plug that in the description below so people can like, can go check it out. Your channel and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
follow your adventures. I think that's pretty cool, man. Like, I've seen a lot of those. Like, we've seen them. When I came over to your place to in
Yeah,
Philly and checked them out. There's some really nice vans. And like there's a lot of like camping grounds and stuff like that. Can you like elaborate more on that for like people that perhaps want to do it?
Um, so like if you talk to most van lifers and people that travel and do this lifestyle. They go by. There's an app called iOverlander, and they on that app they list all the places that you can camp in your car for free. So basically, if you wanted to, like, say, if I wanted to travel to an area like this, like northeastern Pennsylvania, like Jim Thorpe, Pocono area, iOverlander has given me a couple spots. It's funny, the spot that I went to in Jim Thorpe, which had like it's like the center of their town with all the touristy stuff. There's a
Yeah,
parking there's a parking lot there that you pay $8 a day to park in, but the your parking pass is like it's good overnight. So you can sleep there, but you just have to leave or pay another $8 by 8 in the morning.
that's a
So
good deal for $8. You can like. Did you happen to see any other people there that were doing the same?
yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
a lot.
yep.
Yeah, I guess this is like a.
Any spot that's listed on iOverlander, you're gonna see people there because that's the app that everyone swears by.
Oh, okay. So you can see there, like on the map, like who else is there and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool, man. And what have you do? What do you do when you like, usually when you get there?
Um, well, every spot is different. I'll give an example of when I slept at a rest stop on the interstate the other night. So basically, what you want to do is like you do all your touristy stuff. I was in Jim Thorpe. I was like biking trails. I was like going to restaurants and fishing and stuff like that. And toward when it got to nighttime, maybe like 9 o'clock, that's when I got on the interstate and went to the rest stop. Basically, when I got to the rest stop, I just like got into the back of my van and started watching stuff on my phone, trying to organize a little bit. I went into the rest stop to use the bathroom there. Um, and then basically I just slept in my van. There were two or three other cars out there,
Yeah, they were probably doing the same, right?
and there were a ton of trucks. Like the trucks are there all night. They're
Oh
coming
yeah,
in.
those guys sleep in there. I know, like those guys have like beds set up in there and everything.
They're
Those
getting paid
truckers.
trucks.
Well, before you started this, like, did you have like any fear of like perhaps like for like crime or like you watch a lot of movies where like you see like these guys like just like driving around and like they get like kidnapped or something like that. Did you have any fear like that?
um, yeah, of course. There's some anxiety about that, but for me, like where I come from, I'm in way more danger at home where I'm from than anywhere else. So I had to like just talk myself out of that fear. Like you're in one of the most dangerous cities in the country.
Yeah,
Terrible things are happening all around me all the time. So this
yeah,
anxiety is kind of irrational, and I need to just face it and just go head first into it.
yeah. No, you're right about that, man. I think fear is like what stops people from doing things and achieving things. Like a lot of times, I experienced that myself many times. Um, I don't know why, but when I started traveling like far away, like in 2011, when I first went to Argentina. And I don't know why, man, but I just didn't have a single like drop of fear. I think it's the same because I'm from Guatemala, and in Guatemala it's like it was like dangerous back then. When I
Yeah,
was like a little bit younger, and like so for me it was like, okay, so I'm gonna go there and like I'm gonna see a gun. I've seen plenty of guns, with
right.
knives. I've
Yeah,
seen like dead people, so I'm like, all right, whatever.
yeah.
I mean, like you just kind of have to be like, you cannot like live in fear because otherwise you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna be just like sticking in the same area forever, right?
Right. You never make it anywhere.
Um, I think there was like some. I don't want to say funny because I don't think funny is the right word, but like
Mm.
an interesting, well, accident that happened. Like, why don't you tell us when you after like right? It was kind of right after you got your van, right? Like your car.
Right. So So
I
I'm
remember
already,
that day, man. I was like working. I got the phone call from you. I was like, oh my God, I wonder what happened.
so like I'm already having all these like thoughts that like I'm not gonna be able to get out of Philly. Like something's gonna stop me, something's gonna happen. And like the street that I lived on was notorious for people getting their mirrors knocked off and getting their cars swiped. And the people never stop. They just keep going when they do hit. So
Yeah, it's a hit and run.
yeah, every time. So I'm having like huge anxiety already about the van being out there.
Mhm.
And I'm sleeping one day. It's probably 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleeping and I just hear a huge explosion, like a
Like,
huge
papa.
big one. Like I pop out of bed, I go to the window and I see the guy who just crashed. His car is so beat up. He's trying to push his gas. He's trying to leave. He's trying to floor his gas to get out of there, but the car isn't going anywhere because the front axles are done.
Just total, yeah.
I'm the first one on the scene. I come outside. I'm like, where are you going? Like, just stop. His mom was in the passenger seat injured. She was hurt. She was done.
Damn, man.
So I'm getting his license plate. I'm like, I got your license plate already. You may as well get out the car and like handle this. He My car was here. He hit the car right in front of my car and 10 cars in front of it. So I was one spot away from being in that pile up. So
Damn.
I just feel like I got super lucky and it was kind of like meant for me to go on this journey. Because I was literally
Yeah, because I remember that.
a couple feet away.
I remember that, man. You called me and you were like, man, like this happened. And I think I saw the video too. You put like a video on Instagram. And I was just like, man, that's fucking crazy, man. But that kind of shenanigans happen, man, a lot, And I
My
guess that was
neighbor's
like,
car destroyed and she's not buying another car. She
who?
just doesn't get it.
Oh, you're a neighbor? Yeah. Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. So after you got the van, right? How was the process of like, because well, perhaps not many people are familiar with this concept of like, I think it's called conversion, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of van life people, they do this conversion to the cars, right? Where they like strip out everything and like, make how was that for you? Like,
Um, it was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know,
it was in the winter too, right? Like right in the
right, yeah. And there's like this whole anxiety thing that I have with the city, which is why I don't understand why I've been in the city so long because like I had a hard time working on my van because I didn't have a private place to really work on it.
yeah.
Like I live on a huge busy street. So I found sort of like a lot that was near my house, but these guys they wash cars there. It's like a makeshift car wash. It's not a real one. It's just guys that go to a lot and wash cars. So I was fixing my van there. So every day it was like running to Lowe's to get equipment, coming back there, trying to fix my car. And then one day, all the guys at the car wash, they all came and approached me. They thought I was dumping tires. They thought I was dumping tires on the lot. And so they come up, they're like, what are they? They're like, don't be dumping trash over here. I'm like, buddy, I'm not dumping trash. I'm just trying to like work on my van.
Yeah.
And then I open up the back of the van for them and they're like, oh, like, what is that?
What- so what happened? What is it? You took all the seats out and stuff?
So yeah, I took all the seats out. That I actually couldn't do it because I bought one of the hardest vans to convert. If you buy like a Chrysler, like a normal minivan, those seats are not a part of the frame. They just come right out. These seats in my Nissan Quest, they were built into the frame, so I had to hire a body shop guy to take the seats out for me.
Oh wow.
So that was the first process that took me like a month to find someone that would even do it because most mechanics they don't want to do jobs like they're just like what like I have like transmissions to fix, you're asking me to take seats out. So took me a month to find a guy to take the seats out, and then it probably took me another 2 months to build it out just because I was like so discouraged and so uncomfortable in the city with all that stuff going on around me. So it probably took me another 2 months to actually build out the van.
Yeah, no, it came out nice. It's unfortunately, I don't think I have. I don't. I was gonna say, if you do you have any pictures on your? 'Cause- oh well, you know what? It's fine. Like I think you just put up a video, so if people want to see the conversion setup, they can go check out your channel and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It
so
looked
it's
pretty nice, man. That's what a lot of people do, right? They just put like a wooden frame, and then you got some space too, right? Where like you can put stuff in, because
yes, the
even after
table.
you take the seats, there's still like a little bit of space there, right? So you can just put shit in, right?
Hmm.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So it took you 2 months, you said?
Honestly, I bought the van on January 15th. Um, I would say I had the build fully done maybe May 1st. So
Yeah.
it took me a really long time. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't doing it the whole time. I was still just like certain days I was just like, hanging out around the house, or I was um I was looking at a lot of jobs. I was thinking about like applying to different jobs and different things because I didn't know what was gonna happen with, all this stuff that's going on. I didn't know. So I wasn't really focused on like building the van out.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you had to prepare too, right? Like, what I saw on the video that you posted, you have like a stove, right? What stuff do you have there in the van to like that's helping you on the trip?
that's a propane stove,
Hmm.
uh camper. It's a Ozark Trail camper stove. And basically you just hook propane up. It's one of those stoves that you have to like light a match. You have to turn the propane on and you light it with a lighter and it comes on.
Yeah.
Um I have a cast iron pan. I have like a little pot for tea. That's pretty much my whole like cooking setup. I'm gonna have a cooking video coming out soon where I cook out of the back of the van.
You got that
Um,
nice little table too, right?
yeah, that's actually the table from my apartment, the table that all my computers were on in the apartment.
You're
I
taking
just
it with you? Does it
fold
like
down.
fold? Nice. Nice.
Yep.
You got a bed too there, so you're pretty much good to go, man.
I can't think of anything else that I probably need. I mean, I need like new equipment for sure. Like I need to upgrade almost like all the equipment that I'm using, but for right now everything works.
Yeah. And how have you found the cooking and all that stuff like difficult?
It's not it's not difficult. Sometimes it's a pain to stay organized in the van. Like sometimes you start moving things around and then you look at the van and it looks like an absolute mess, but it only it only looks like that because it's like such a small space. Once you like move things around and put things in the spaces they're supposed to be, like everything comes to life. I also
Yeah, I mean, and I think this is like because this is the first time you do it, so I guess you're gonna get better with time too, right? Like
hopefully, yeah.
the more you do it, you'll be like, okay, I'll be able to, you just
I also bring my bike with me. I travel with my bike, which is really important to me to have the bike. I really enjoy like being athletic and things like that, but it takes up a lot of space. I'm always looking at the bike like I wish that bike wasn't in here. But
wait, you didn't get a bike rack?
I tried two different bike racks and they don't fit. The way this van is set up, you can't put like a bike rack that goes in through the top of the door. It doesn't work like that for some reason. So I found this like Velcro bike strap, but I don't like it because the bike is like rattling around while I'm driving. So
Hmm.
for I found the best option
Yeah,
for
that
me.
shit must be annoying. You're like fucking on the highway, and it's like, zzz.
I don't want that thing breaking my window or something.
Yeah, that too, right? The window and stuff like that.
And I have my roof bars on the top are pretty much useless as well because they're not straight. They're on a curve. So I haven't been able to find any way to utilize them other than ratchet straps. I can tie things down up top.
Oh yeah, but you don't want to tie a bike, man.
I might tie the spare tire up there and use that storage space for something else.
Yeah, I guess that's just make sure you like tied it really nice, man. You don't want like the last thing you want is like a fucking tire flying on the parkway.
Yeah.
So what's the itinerary looking like so far? Like from you started in Philadelphia.
Started in Philly. I drove the full like 2 hours up to Jim Thorpe, stayed there for a couple of days. That town is great. I'm producing my video on my time there right now. That town is just awesome. Like I want to go back, but I need to keep moving.
You need to get a
um,
drone, bro.
right.
You need to get those drone shots.
So I mean the beauty of like a trip like this is you don't need a strict itinerary, you know. So
Yeah,
like
you just go along the way.
right now I'm like a half hour northeast of Jim Thorpe, and I want to, you know, the next stop is going to be just another half hour up in the northeast direction to the Delaware Water Gap, where I'm going to be doing some primitive camping. Now we're about to get into some real camping.
What's
This is
that?
this is camping in the forest with nothing around you. So
So
it's gonna just
basically, you're like a caveman eating whatever is there, kind of.
I'm
Fucking
gonna
starting like a fire from like nothing and shit.
basically I'm gonna have to like go to the bathroom outside. Um, there's gonna just be no amenities other than what I bring for myself, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. You know,
Oh wow, man, that's cool, man. Do you think you run into people there?
maybe, but like the general rule of thumb with camping, especially out in the wilderness like that, is you don't approach anybody. Like if you see somebody at a campsite, it's like very frowned upon to go approach someone's campsite. You know,
Wow, really?
yeah, I might see people, but I'm not going to interact with them, you know,
Yeah,
unless I'm like fishing and I like see somebody fishing, I'll talk to them. But like, I'm not going to go approach someone's campsite and be like, hey, what's up? You know,
yeah. Hey, you want to have a beer?
very frowned upon to approach people at their campsite.
Yo, and I guess, and what about the fish? Have you been eating the fish that you've been fishing?
I've never caught a fish in my life. I'm going to go ahead and admit that on your on your podcast. I've never caught a fish.
Ah, Reggie.
So we're still waiting for that first fish, you know.
Yeah, it was so funny because yesterday I have like a nice park here where I live, has like a big lake area. And it was so funny because I was walking back to the car and I just see like it looks so effortlessly, But I guess it's harder than it looks, right?
It's really
So
hard.
dude, I just see like this guy just sitting there, he's just sitting there and he grabs the fish line and he like pulls a fish, He grabs like a little towel, cleans it up. I don't know what he did to it, but I was like, that looks so easy.
Well, my problem is I haven't used any real bait yet. Like if you have like real bait, like a worm or a piece of chicken or something, a
It's
fish is gonna
easy.
bite. You know, I'm using like rubber lures and stuff like that. They're not gonna bite that unless it's early in the morning and they're really hungry and aggressive, you know.
Yeah, like
Like you see my
I think they
video
could
on
probably
Instagram.
smell it too, right?
Yeah. Did you see my video on Instagram? I had a fish like come up and like basically sniff my bait and was like, that's not food, and turned around and swam away.
No, no. Let me see.
Well, I took it down now, but it was up there for a while.
Oh, cool, man. All right, but are you gonna eat it if you catch
Um,
one?
I'm only gonna like I want to do a catch and cook, but it has to be well, like now I've watched enough fishing videos that I know the fish to eat. Like people like trout is a good fish to eat. Trout, walleye, things like that. Like I'm not gonna eat like a catfish or like a carp or something like that, you know. So
Why?
maybe one day, maybe one day.
Are they like nasty?
Uh, they're just like not good eating, you know.
Yeah.
I want a fish that's gonna be like good, like white meat,
Yeah, with like lime, like a
Mhm.
squeeze a few limes. Have you there's no limes here in the Northeast, right?
Limes?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we have limes?
I don't know. I'm just wondering if you found like any like limes on the wilderness.
Oh no, no.
All right. Why wouldn't you?
That stuff is important, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figure. I was like, I never seen like a lime, like just like No, but that's cool, man. And what anything else that you've seen, like I don't know, like that you're like, wow, that's kind of cool or something like that, like in your, or how has it been the whole experience so far? Like, is it exactly what you imagine, or like, is it better, or like worse, or
What was that?
like the experience so far? Since you started doing this.
Have I seen any like wildlife? You're asking?
No, like is if the experience is like as you imagine is better, the experience of doing this van life.
So right now, like I've only really been in Jim Thorpe. Like the place that I'm in now is kind of just like a hotel. I've just been sitting in the room doing work. But I've only been in Jim Thorpe and like I love that place. I've been there
That
before.
that town looks really good, man. I wish I could have went. I forget how far it is from me. Jim Thorne, right?
Yeah. For me, like that town is kind of like paradise to me. So I don't want to judge the whole trip on that town. So I'll wait until I, take a couple more, stops and then I'll judge.
Let's
But
see
if
if
anybody watching, Jim Thorpe is like a amazing place. Great.
yeah, it's about
I'm
2 hours away
gonna
from
put out
me.
a video on it tonight.
Where are you now? What is it called?
Uh, right now,
Yeah,
I'm in like East Stroudsburg right now.
I don't think I can spell that.
It's Strou.
Oh, Stroudsburg.
Yeah,
Weird names, man. Some very interesting names, actually.
all over Pennsylvania is
That's
weird.
actually closer to me, man. That's 1 hour away from me. That's not too far, man. Oh yeah, you're closer to the New York, the greater New York metro area, right?
Yep.
There's about, I don't know, man, about 35 million people in this area. At least
Yeah,
where I live.
that's why I don't want to come there.
Yeah, all the cities, man. You're right, man. I'm a big city fan, but lately, man, for me, cities are just too much now, man.
Right.
You know, and I've been to many cities, many countries, around the world. But I think cities are nice, man. Especially like for example, if you come here, we'll go to New York City, we'll bullshit, maybe we'll go to the bars and stuff like that. But I don't I don't think I would like want to like be commuting or doing that shit every fucking day, man.
No,
That shit
I
is
mean,
so tiring, man.
I was doing it in Philly, and I live only
And
like
you
10.
live there and you can
Yeah,
like walk to your job, right?
I'm 10 minutes outside of Center City in Philly, and like still the commute is horrible because everyone is trying to like fight to get on the train in the morning, and like sometimes you have to like two trains will pass your stop because they're overcrowded. They don't want to let more people on there.
And everyone is rushing and stuff like that.
And then you bring a pandemic into it, and it's chaos. So like.
I cannot imagine how Philly was during those times, man. Fuck.
I can't imagine like before the pandemic, we were stuffed on the trains like sardines every day.
Yeah.
Even when Corona was going on, because they didn't shut things down until, you know, COVID-19 started in like December and they didn't shut anything down until March. So we were still on the trains packed in like sardines every day going to Center
Yeah,
City.
man. I truly believe that that thing was going on for like a long time, man,
Right.
But I don't want to talk about that because that could like cause like YouTube to like the algorithms to
Right. Right.
shadow ban the video. So we'll just stay off out of that topic, you know. And
Right.
but that's cool, man. You know, so you're in East Stroudsburg. They got so you're close to Mount Pocono, man.
I'm sick of the mountains, man. I'm sick of like driving on the mountains. It's like killing my van.
Yeah, the high elevation, man.
My
Dude,
van does not like it.
that's why my the cars in Guatemala, man, like they don't last long, man. That high elevation, man. Imagine it's pulling all that weight, you know.
Yeah, it is not liking this. Like when I'm like up on a mountain now, when I drive down off this thing, I'm gonna try and avoid mountains from here on out.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, I think this whole area is a mountain. I know where you're heading, which is your final destination. Kind well, not really. I mean, but for the time being, which is what is it called? The state?
Vermont.
Yeah, from here, from I mean, I think from where you are to there, it's very flat, man. Because I drove all the way there one time to I don't know how I got involved in that, helping these guys out. I don't remember, but it was people, a lot of people that we met at Wickerman at the, at the festival.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then this guy, I forgot his name. He was like, "Hey, man, you want to work? You want to go work there?" And I was like, "Sure, no, why not?" And I remember we drove all the way there, and it was all flat, man. Like you see mountains and stuff like that, but most of the drive is flat and green. A lot of green, man.
I can't
So
wait, man. It's gonna be refreshing for me to get into an environment like that. And I have friends there, so I'll be well taken care of once I get up there.
you said it's Vermont, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So New Hampshire and Vermont kind of they look like one state.
But they're very different, those two states.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm looking at Vermont, and it's like if you were looking like this, but they're like in the middle. So it's like a rectangle and in the middle. So that's why I was like, oh, it's Vermont. Dude, you'll be close to Canada, man. You think you'll go there?
I don't know if the border's open.
Yeah, probably
You
not,
have,
man.
you
Canadian
have
people?
in Toronto, but that's nowhere near where I'm going. Look at where Toronto is on the map. It's like on the other side of New York.
Oh yeah. Well, I heard Montreal is like a French place too.
I don't want to go to Montreal.
Come on, man. You don't like French people?
They're not very nice up there, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. But yeah, so you'll be close to Montreal, man. I've been wanting to go there because I heard it's like different. It's kind of like European or whatever. It's interesting to see that kind of stuff. To see that like there's one like when you go there, you're like, oh, there's places here that are like, I mean, for me, it's like I find it interesting, and stuff like that. But
That's because you're a world traveler. I'm just
yeah,
like I'm a like country guy.
I am an immigrant. I got that immigrant mentality, man.
You're a global nomad, dude. It's cool, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. So you'll stay there, and stuff like that. Oh man, that's pretty cool, man, that you're like doing this. I think a lot of people are I feel like a lot of people got motivated during the pandemic to do a lot of things. Because I've seen it, man. A lot of people have been like, they're like, oh, they start like businesses, channels, YouTube channels and stuff like that. I've been on this for a while, and like trying
Yeah.
to start projects because I find them fun. So for example, my channel, this Wanderlust City, trying to log into my YouTube account here. So I was like, oh, I should start podcast. And I started like in Guatemala,
Yeah.
and that yeah, look, exactly 1 year ago, and it's in Spanish. That one. It got 67 views, so that's pretty decent, man, for like a Spanish, like
Yeah.
podcast. So the after that, my I did we did the New Year's in Atlantic City. That one has 835 views. That was pretty fun.
Check out the New Year's video, Atlantic City, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug in your channel in those where you like in that one too, because we had a great time, man. Do you think are there any casinos in the area like
Yeah,
there?
Bethlehem,
Nice. In
Bethlehem. Yeah.
Bethlehem, right? Yeah, man. So a lot of people started this project and stuff like that. I want to do more. I have like a lot of people that I want to do podcasts with, but it's difficult because of the times, people are working, and it's just very difficult to get people like that.
Yeah.
But that's
Hey,
cool, Reggie, that you're doing that, man. I think we can end the podcast here for now, and we'll definitely plug in your channel. You got a lot of videos coming out soon, right?
at least like 4 or 5 should be there in the next week or so.
That's cool, so yeah, if people want to go check it out, the process of the trip, and perhaps it'll be motivation for somebody else too,
Hopefully, that's what it's all about.
to get on the road, to get on the road and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. Thank you, Reggie, for being on the podcast, and yeah, hopefully we'll do a few more. So you can like kind of like come back and like talk about your progress and stuff like that. And adventures.
Yep. There's a lot
Hopefully
more to
you
talk for sure.
hopefully you'll have some funny and interesting stories.
Yeah,
So
for
thank
sure.
you guys for the podcast. All right, and we'll see you on the next one.